Hello, comrades and cadres. This is the Anglesist here, and I'm here to talk about some important issues. Sorry for another serious video, but it's what it is. So, anti-Semitism on the left. Let's talk about it. I can attest to at least 4 figures who've taken at least serious or have seen the aftermath of anti-Semitism on the left. So let's start with the first one chronologically, Dr. Weisfeld. The first person that I've talked to person to person, well, at least the oldest person I've talked person to person who has faced serious anti-Semitism, that being in the anti-Zionist movement, especially from my country, in the PCS, in the PSC, the Palestinian Solidarity Campaign, have seriously discriminated against him for being an outspoken Jewish anti-Zionist, and he does hold to Jewish cultural traditions in a lot of cases. The second one, Net. The accusation that he fucking controls any of us, he controls me, Jason, fucking Lumpen Third Worlds, any of these people is fucking ludicrous. The amount of time that he would have to take to that, he doesn't have. I don't correspond with him that much. I speak to him every week, every few weeks. Sometimes I speak to him every day, but that's not as common. Donna Newman, who I have serious issues with, and I'll talk about that later in the video, has had to face serious anti-Semitism, particularly from Trotskyists, who claim to be anti-Zionist but are really very fucking racist. And she's had to face horrible discrimination. And Corporal Cat, let's talk about her. Recently in a video, I've worked with her before, I've spoken with her before. She's fucking terrified of what could happen on the internet. And as a young person, you probably should be, but she's terrified specifically because of the anti-Semitism that, she's seen her friends and family faced. And this is serious fucking shit. Like people have been fucking hurt. And this isn't a fucking joke. And any of you think it's a fucking joke, we've brought up statistics, but we've brought up facts, not statistics. I didn't make a poll for any of this, but we've brought up facts, and we've brought up fucking, actual accounts of shit that's happened to people. So let's talk about you, Donna. And I don't necessarily like to call you out in this thing, but you know what you've done. And people don't need to necessarily know what you've done to MRN as well as people around it. We've talked about ways, we've talked about other stuff. If you're serious about, fucking doxing yourself and putting out your picture to people just to, prove that this is all real and prove all of that stuff, you're a grown-ass woman. You can if you want to. I'm not inviting anybody to attack Donna Newman if she decides to do this. I'm not inviting anybody to attack Donna if she does anything, but you're a grown-ass woman. If you're really about that, maybe you should put your face out there just so people know that it's not just a circle jerk between a bunch of guys on the internet. None of us, Arizona isn't fake, right? I've talked to Comrade Number 3, I've had email correspondences with Donna Newman, I've talked to Dr. Weisfeld, I've talked to Steve Struggle, blah blah blah, etc, I should say. Blah 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 can be a little disrespectful, but I've talked to all of these people. I've got this book. This is from Arizona, Foundations of Maoism. This is a written fucking thing from the this is a written fucking thing from the Maoist dogs down there. It's a fucking 116-page document. This isn't some fucking bullshit that somebody just dreamed up. I didn't get sent this by fucking fairy tales. I'll be honest, it could use a little better product design. I mean, it's not exactly picturesque, so to speak, but yeah. Also, and this isn't saying this to big myself up or make myself seem like, a really cool, really responsible guy. I'm not a revolutionary, I'm not a serious fucking guy. I'm a bit of a theorist and I'm a bit of an activist, but I know bullshit when I see it, and I left multiple movements because I saw that they were going into bullshit, and the truth is that I'm I'm not about just fucking chilling on YouTube to get views. In fact, you know, like I like getting views. I like people seeing the stuff that I do, and I like people enjoying it. But this isn't for that. You know, I'm not here for that. I appreciate any of people who are my fans and stuff. I appreciate that, but that isn't what it's about. And you know, like the documentaries we make, oftentimes they aren't for everyone. And maybe, you know, I feel sorry for any viewers who don't really get the context of a lot of the MRN documentaries. You know, they're not necessarily made for everyone. And I hope that this video can explain a little more why we do some of that stuff. But I understand if a lot of you don't necessarily get the context of why we make a lot of the documentaries that we do. They're mostly to do with like certain people, and oftentimes it can alienate a lot of our viewers, and I'm sorry for that, but that's how it is. Now, young people online, people like the Falcone General, people like Corporal Cat would be online whether or not we intervened. And maybe they shouldn't be. In an ideal world, maybe they shouldn't be. But in the world we live in the material conditions we live in, innocence is fucking ignorance. And the truth is that, you know, we're facing the after effect. We're facing the effects of climate change right now. My generation, Falcone's generation, will see the after effects of fucking global warming. And I'm not fucking kidding. So to say in this thing that being politically active on YouTube, it is dangerous. Being politically active in general is dangerous, but isolating young people from it will not make people safer. And young people will get involved, and what is better, to just leave them to their own devices to get themselves in more shit, or to help them out and try and guide them, try and protect them, all that stuff, you know? Like in the situation that people are in, you know, should we just let fucking 14, 15, 16-year-olds get themselves in shit, or should we try and support them and try and make sure they're okay? Now, B-levels crimes. Like, and that's a bit dramatic, but what you fucking done. Because you did Doxnet, that fucking Facebook profile wasn't public, it wasn't a political thing. And you put it out like it was fucking nothing. And you're willing to give it to people who you knew were politically shady. You gave it to people like Broden, you gave it to people like that. And this is not to cuss out Broden or anything, you know. You've made rectifications and I accept that. But you gave it to people you didn't trust, and then it ended up on fucking places like 4chan, and then its family got doxxed. You know what you fucking did. You shared somebody's docs, and you didn't fucking give a shit. Now, the other thing that you did was, you know, fucking send people like Broden after Dark Xenovia on the day that his mother fucking died, and you knew that shit. You knew the fact that his mother fucking died, and you sent people after him, you sent people to insult him, and it made him feel like shit. You know what you did to Dark Xenovia, and you like to pretend and fucking trot around like you didn't do anything, but you fucking did. You betrayed somebody who considered themselves your fucking friend. Now, I'm lucky enough to not have ever considered you a friend. You're a fucking piece of shit, B-level. Now, to say these last things, Lumpen Third Worldist can be fucking stubborn, and he can be an arsehole at times. He's not a crazy person. He's very fucking knowledgeable about politics, and knowledgeable more than most of the people that I know. He can be stubborn, he can be stuck in his ways, and he can be difficult to deal with, but he's a fucking wise human being. And he's given me insight more than most people. There's very few people that I know who've given me as much insight as Lumpen Third Worldist. And that isn't delusional. Now, he is fucking crazy at times. You know, he says shit where it's just like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? But, like, no, he's not delusional. Arizona's a fucked up place. You want to know a headline that I heard from Arizona? Man fills tranquilizer dart with HIV and shoots it at victim. So somebody filled up a fucking tranquilizer dart with their own HIV infested blood to shoot at them. Arizona is a fucking nuts place. If you had the same laws that they have in Florida about reporting every crime in the news, you'd have way crazier shit than Florida. Arizona is a fucked up place, and And I can attest to the fact that the things that I've heard in terms of, like, people's deaths are very fucking real. And that isn't delusional. He can be crazy and overbearing at times, but he isn't fucking delusional. He can annoy me at times. And that isn't delusional. He's just a little crazy. And the truth is, he probably should medicate. He probably should seek help. But a lot of the time, he doesn't have time to. He's a traumatized fucking individual who's still in the struggle. Now, this has been an attack on certain people, like B-Level, but I don't really care about B-Level. But this isn't an attack on anybody else in particular besides the people we've already pointed out that we don't like. But this is a clarification of why we do the vids we do and why we have brought up the stuff we've done. Arizona isn't fucking fake. I've talked to the people. I've read the literature. They need better they need better graphic design, but you know. But I'm sorry that I have to make these videos, but I find it important. And hopefully I make something a little less formal next time, but you know, it is what it is. See you, cadres.